Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another installment in the series we call Breakdowns. They're quick, they're easy, and this one's even better because we get to be even lazier. Let's just put it that way. We have a gentleman right here. His name is Tomax. What is Because the guy in there is Tomax. It's got the Cobra thing on there. This is a Vanquish VS4-10 chassis. It is the rails. It is some of the plastic bits. And then it is Mias nylon portal axles. Obviously fitted with some 105s with Canyon trails. In the amidships is an Associated / Element Stealth X, and mated to that is the Hobby Wing combo 1080 G2 with the 540, which it only comes in like 2 flavors. It's one of those. I can't remember the turn count on it, but we've got a pretty big pinion. We're rocking 2287. So it's probably either the 16 turn, 20 turn, something like that. One of the higher turn counts. A blue case, Amazon 35 kg up front. And that's about it. I cut the shock towers on a laser as a test. They are cut out of black acrylic. And I wanted to see, does this work? They're still on there. They're basically cut as prototypes to see if they were proofs of concept. And they won't break. We are servo and axle, so the front end is all carved out. These was originally built to be fitted with an OD3 gearbox, which is why his seating position on these rapidly disintegrate, like the whole back of this RC4 drive seat fell off. That metal can only be bent back and forth so many times. His seating position was initially lower because it was fitted with an OD3. And I found out really very quickly that changing a motor or making a pinion change on an OD3 is, it's like working on a modern automobile. You have to take the entire middle of the vehicle out. Do all of the motor and gearing changes externally and then reinstall everything. It was legitimately 30 to 40 minutes to do a motor swap. And I know someone's sitting there and they're going, why on earth would it be 30 to 40 minutes to do a motor swap? Well, it's 30 to 40 minutes to do a motor swap because this is Tomax, he's the red one. And this is Zaymot, he's the blue one. Shout out to all my Gen X brethren who remember G.I. Joe. What we did is we jumped up. We jumped up and we flew directly in the face of science, because if I want to test two things side by side, directly head to head against one another, I want to do it with as many variables eliminated as possible. So I took all of the same parts and did it twice. And I built a red one, and I built a blue one. Tomax and Zaymot, the brothers. And when they were built, and I was finishing them up, they were initially less than 1 gram difference in weight. You can already see just by looking. He is no longer on the Amazon 35 kg. I was doing a video with my wife, a little driver's ed series, and somehow that 35 kg burned out. It's the only one that's ever been deaded around here, and I did not have another one in the bin. I had this Yippin 70 kg with the, what do they claim on the side? Yippin 70 kg, full helical gear, 5.0 to 7.4 volts, etc., etc., etc. I can tell you this, in the side by each capacity, that Amazon 35 kg and that Yippin 70 kg feel exactly the same. That thing does not feel like it is generating an additional gram per centimeter of torque compared to that one. They feel exactly the same. This one is slightly faster. Hear that? And then hear this. It's finer teeth. So we got a motor that's spinning faster to generate more speed. It's probably coreless, and that one definitely isn't, so it's got more speed in it. But torque-wise, the 70 and the 35 side-by-side feel the same. They are both still fitted with the skid for the OD3, with the three holes in it. And I had no desire to change it, so there's just an aluminum adapter plate down there which adapts it to its Stealth X, because they'd already been built. All the link lengths were already determined, and when I looked at any other skid, it changed all of the link lengths. And I did not want to change 16 links. It is far simpler to just build 2 adapter plates and then just throw Stealth X's in there. Because with these, making a gearing or a motor change literally takes minutes. I can access spur and pinion externally. With a long extension, I can access the motor, pop the motor out. This guy is on a little skid. It is attached. Oh, well, it's just Velcro. I can just pop the whole thing out. So they are designed to, as I said, fly in the face of science, because in the science, there's a thing called the observer effect, which is even looking at something changes the outcome. Now, I'm not one to argue with science, because I will tell you that depending on the day, they feel different. They genuinely feel different. And there is absolutely no reason that they should feel different. Every setting, every component, they have the exact same inserts, they don't have the exact same wheels. I made an effort to purchase 2 pairs of silver 105s, and then I changed the beadlock rings out to these little, I would say they look like they have handles. I changed them out to those. On the wheels installed in there, one set, let me get in the drawer, maybe I can find one. One set has what I would call a relieving ring. Yes. Okay. Here's a gunmetal 105. One of the sets of wheels has this little groove through it. You can see where the bottoms of the screws come out. So it is my belief, not a machinist, I'm a fake machinist, an idiot in a shed. My belief is they cut that groove because when they drill and tap all of these holes, it allows the chips places to fall. So when they're running taps in here high speed, bow, 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 it's not wadding up metal at the bottom, so it allows them to clear out. One set of wheels has that. The other set of wheels doesn't. It's just smooth across here. I genuinely don't know if I can find one that is smooth. Let's see. Hey! Black 105. No groove. Now I ordered 2 sets of wheels at the same time from the same seller, foolishly presuming that I would get an identical set. And it was a difference of almost 2 grams per wheel, right? Most people wouldn't care. So you will notice this is the guy that doesn't have the relieving. So he's missing screws on some of the wheels in order to get the weight down to gram accurate. As I said, there was initially a 1 gram differential between the two. They're both about 33 1/4. They're not light. Anything on a VS4-10 is not going to be light. They have front knuckle weights, the OG knuckle weights, the ones that you have to kind of machine up. Mias has since repaired and altered their design because there's a lot of wheel hexes and a lot of wheels that won't fit with these knuckle weights. I don't think you can even get them anymore. Now, as we stand here today, this guy right here is 13 grams heavier than this guy because, you see, he's got some stick-on wheel weights that are what? 7 grams each. So he's got 2, 4, 6, 7 of them. That's 50 grams. But he's only 13 grams heavier than this guy, which leads me to believe that that Yippin is, well, significantly heavier than the plastic. This is an all-metal case. This is plastic cased. So I can legitimately I can pop 2 of these weights off and they'll be back to within about a gram again, in theory. But thanks to the observer effect and the fact that they genuinely feel different when I drive them. I don't know why. They also sound different. One is slightly like growlier than the other. They have identical spur gears of the same brand, identical pinion gears of the same brand, identical as I could get on rims, shocks, rails, plastics, everything. I did everything I could. And then the power of observation jumped in and made one feel slightly different than the other. And when I say slightly, I mean so slightly that I can't tell you which one. Like, I'm not saying one feels better. They just feel different. And I can't isolate it, because the whole reason they exist is for observation. Because what I have learned, if I've learned anything at all, in this Groundhog Day in which I exist, it's that when you observe something, when you're performing a test and you observe something, if I were to test a motor on this gentleman right here, bring him back into the shop, switch in a different motor, and then take it back out there, my brain will already have reset and will not remember what the other one felt like. There is an experience that you can really only experience through physical manifestation of insanity, which is build 2 identical vehicles, put one thing in one and another thing in the other, and drive one, set the controller down, and immediately drive the other one. And then you go, oh. I often say in tire tests, shock tests, you name a test. I have often said that the difference between these 2 things is so subtle that it could perhaps potentially not be discerned under normal circumstances. And I find that to be, I find that as a theory, as a hypothesis, to be more proven with each passing test. My memory, my becomes more hazy on one end of the spectrum and less hazy on the others, where I can test a tire and, like, say 2 days later test another tire and be able to pretty closely in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see where this is doing this and that did that. But then can shatter that illusion that I've created by myself. Put one set on here and one set on there and take them and drive them, and they will either feel opposite of what I thought, radically different, or in very rare cases, indistinguishably identical. 2 sets of tires will behave differently even when like if I were to take these tires off of here, put them on there, and flop those over there, part of me feels like I'd be able to tell the difference. Because when aspiring to remove as many variables as humanly possible, you're just instituting more. If this insert slides over on the wheel like that, I might not know it in the moment. Like, I won't realize that it has slid over. But when I'm driving it, that one will feel different from that one. And I won't exactly know why. Because we have far, far too many variables. That is the same shock, right? I bought them all together. I built all 8 at the same time. I just smooshed them around. They're all filled with the same weight oil. They're all sprung with the same springs. But we know that the quality control on everything, the rims are ever so slightly different. The tolerances on things will be ever so this right here. Okay, there we go. This still feels a little freer than this one. And that's in that slack. This is cumulative slop right here. That still feels different from that. And unless I could drive them blindfolded, like I'm not saying that I'm applying a preference. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm saying that they feel the observer effect is unavoidable. If you compare any one thing directly up against any other thing, and right now, aside from 13 grams of wheel weights, please don't stab me. Please don't stab me. Ooh, they are really sticky. Gone forever. And, okay, that one was a little more behaved. 7 grams apiece. This guy should now be 1 gram lighter than that guy. So they are as close to identical as is practicable living, not just in the universe, but on a world constrained by Newtonian physics and then saddled with the observer effect. That, what is it, the double slit experiment, where they expect something to happen and then the opposite of that thing happens. We do our very best. J Concepts 78 tucked, which are of all the tucked bodies, and I think, aside from a couple new of the very newest releases, I think I've driven them all. These are the absolute burliest. This body, compared to a Proline Cliffhanger, this body weighs twice as much, which would explain why on a rig that weighs 3,300 grams, we've got a little, and that's probably from snagging on the bumper. But other than that, they are, and you can tell scratch-wise, it's not like they don't get driven. They go out and they test things. This guy's sticker's almost shredded off the hood. Eliminating variables, which is why we go to a course and we drive over the same sections, because we know from prior experience what happens when we drive over those sections. So what we want to do is we want to do it again and again and again until we can, because if I'm going to test something, I want to do it the way a crazy person would do it, which is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Because we do get different results because we just keep adding variables. So when it comes to the course, and I do my very best about the conditions, we try to hit a window, like about a 30-degree window Fahrenheit in temperature. And then we make 2 rigs as identical as I feel possible. If you were to take 2 RTRs directly out of a boxes with no parts different, plug batteries into them and drove them, I can almost guarantee you, as a purveyor, as one who dwells within the observer effect, I can tell you that you would find one to do something and some aspect differently from another one. Because even if the same person in the same building built them both on the same day, the parts were still injection molded and they might have come from different batches. And what I'm telling you is, you can't make 2 identical vehicles. God knows I've tried. And I think I got pretty close. And they're close enough, I think, for what we're doing, which is just trying to test an object A against object B, minimizing variables as much as possible. It's the same reason that every Class 2 tire gets thrown under the same scratched up and Thesian guy, because he is the guy that tests Class 2 tires. These are the guys that test 2 similar but different things. Like, for instance, what is the most, as of this recording, what is the most fielded question? Have you tried the Hobby Wing 10BL80 and HW Outer motor? No, I haven't. Do I want to? Yes. Are they readily or commonly available currently? No. And when I say that, I mean I can go on a website, place an order for it, and have it in less than 2 weeks. The answer is no. All of the other power systems I use, I could have within 72 hours. That means I can buy them. So when I do eventually get my hands on one, it'll probably be the 1700 kV version. That will go in here. And some other power plant will go in here. I don't know what it'll be. It might be a Komodo Unity. It might be a Secure. It's probably going to be the Secure. I want to see them not speculatively. I want to see one directly against the other, side by each. And hopefully they'll become available. Hopefully you'll come back and see us in the next one. And in between now and then, please one, and I'll do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. How good was that segue? Come on! Thanks so much. We'll see you next time here from the Canyon. Don't try to build two identical rigs. It's like trying to paint a sinking ship.